Never in my life did I think I would be invested in some middle-aged women's 4th of July party drama, but here I am. Basically, I'm fully invested in this because I saw this video and this mom was like crying and she's like, I never post stuff like this, but one of my neighbors invited me and my kids to come to this 4th of July party because I'm new to the neighborhood. And she said she gets to this house that the party's at and like is trying to introduce herself to everybody. And she was like thanking everybody for inviting her. And she brought like a really nice expensive dish. And basically there's like a couple people that are just being like rude to her and not talking to her. And she finds out that the man and woman that own the house are like mad that she's there. So she goes outside and is like, oh, like, sorry, I was trying to introduce myself. And they were basically just like, welcome to the neighborhood, get out. And they said they didn't want her in her house because they didn't know her and she didn't introduce herself to them even though she tried. So this video of the mom crying blows up, of course, and everybody jumps to her defense because obviously, like, we feel bad for her. She's crying and she feels bad. She feels like she ruined her kid's 4th of July. So as TikTok always does, people end up finding the husband and wife's accounts and like commenting on their videos and asking like why they kicked her out. And the husband privated his account, but the wife keeps posting vague stuff being like, you guys weren't there, you don't know what happened. And how she's not going to listen to any stupid people on TikTok, like, commenting on her videos, blah, blah, blah. She's not going to let the haters get to her, even though she literally turned off all her comments. But she ends up posting her, like, response video, and she's like, well, it wasn't even a party, first of all. It was just da-da-da-da-da, and literally describes a party. And then she's like, I was just mad because I don't know this woman, and she's inside my house. And it's like, okay, I can understand maybe, like, oh, I'm not comfortable with someone I don't know being in my house. Yeah, but don't take that out on this random woman. She was invited. If you're upset about it, talk to your friend who invited her. And maybe not in front of everybody. You know, she just says, like, I didn't care if she was there. I just didn't want her in my house. She didn't introduce herself, blah, blah, blah. I don't know who this woman is. She tried to introduce herself to you, but you and your husband stormed off and got mad about it. Basically, her whole conclusion was, I didn't care if she was there. I just didn't want her in my house because I didn't know her. Which, you know, maybe would have been fair if it wasn't like an inside party. Like, she's like, she could have stayed as long as she just wasn't in my house. But from what it's sounding like, everybody else was in the fucking house. Like, all of the food was in the house. Everything like that was in the house. That's what really got me, because it's like, you're legit treating this woman like a dog. Like, she's not allowed in your house, but everybody else is. Everybody else is gonna hang out in your house. And it's like, well, I don't care if you're here. You just have to stay outside. You can't come inside. Like, that's crazy. And how about instead of like yelling at her and basically telling her to leave, how about you try to talk to her and be like, oh, hey, like, who are you? I didn't know you were coming. This is my house. Like, nice to meet you. Not nice to meet you. Goodbye. But she keeps claiming there's more to the story and like, you guys weren't there. You don't know what actually happened. But she has yet to like give the more to